Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphaneme. I hope you're all having a fantastic evening out there. We have a lot of big news to cover today. This is not an exaggeration. Let's begin here on the cryptobasic.com. This article was titled, Renowned Wealth Manager Positions Ripple to be as big as Amazon, Google, and Apple. Haven't we heard this before? And yet, and still, there remain to be non-believers out there. I don't know how at this point. Let's read this a little bit here. It says, Clive Thomas believes Ripple could become a major player like Amazon, Google, and Apple. I concur. It says, Clive Thomas, a renowned wealth manager, recently shared his optimism about the future of Ripple and XRP. He disclosed his outlook on the entities during a recent live stream interview with Versan and Vandel Al-Jara, founders of Black Swan Capitalists. Says here, Vandel speculated that the payments network and XRP will continue to exist and that every bank, he's cooking, every bank will adopt it in the future. Now that's powerful. Don't listen. We have some bank news coming up. They're on fire. Oh, they're not doing well. They need a life preserver. And guess who happens to be on a boat? And all we need to do is give a little push. And our life preserver will be in their hands, which equals, one hand washes the other, which would equal a lot of money coming to us. What's our life preserver that we offer? XRP, on-demand liquidity. Of course. Let's continue on here. Says, they go into the victory that we had over the SEC, which continues to be dominated after we set that precedent. But it says here, Thompson agreed with this notion, saying he hoped Ripple could become as big as established global giants like Amazon, Google, or Apple, and too big for the SEC to fight. Now, that's an original idea. I never thought about that. So Thompson stated that one major challenge the crypto sector has faced over the years is the SEC's inability to implement clearer regulations. I don't think we're going to have to worry about that in the future, since the wealth manager indicated that he supports the judge's ruling. We all do. Now, let's move on here. We have a lot of news to get through. But if you hear what he's saying, and then you heard what Monica Long said the other day, that, hey, if these institutions don't adopt this technology, they will perish. Then if you see what I'm about to unveil in this next few chapters, I believe it's the next few chapters, you'll understand that the legacy financial system is on fire, is burning to the ground. And that's a great thing for us. Great thing. But I will say this. Listen. You can do whatever you want. This is not financial advice. All right. But I would be careful this next year or two. It looks like it's getting closer to some banks collapsing once. I mean, a lot of banks collapsing once again. Here's the scary part. They're all from top to bottom looking weak now, where before it was mainly just the middle banks on down to the small banks. They're all looking very weak right now. Let's move on to this article here. This article is from bisnow.com. It's titled, you ready? Regional Banks Commercial Real Estate Exposure More Substantial Than It Appears. Haven't we been saying that? That commercial real estate is going to drag these entities down so hard, so fast. The people are not ready for it. And you know why the people aren't ready for it? They're not going to be prepared at all. They're not sitting on another. A lot of their capital is still tied up in the banks. And then it's going to be very difficult if there's going to be bank runs if these things go down. It says here, just a little tidbit we'll read. The regional banking sector's risk from distress in the commercial real estate industry appears to be larger than previously known. A new analysis found. So this is going on new data, folks. As I said, we've been keeping up with them, constantly reevaluating how many banks are affected, how deeply they're affected. They're very deeply affected. And here's the other thing. Things are getting worse because they can't move that property. I've seen massive entities try to sell at a loss, and others are looking like, no, we're not going to do that. Then they're trying to turn them into apartments, and people are like, yeah, well, who's going to buy these apartments? extremely high rental prices. The people can't afford the rental prices. People can't afford mortgage prices. Mortgages going insane. They came down the other day. Now mortgages have skyrocketed once again. What is going on? I'm telling you now, there's a problem across the board, is what I'm saying. So converting commercial real estate into another type of thing that you could possibly move around that also has no momentum, that's not going to work, is what I'm saying. Their solutions are not going to work. So a new analysis found posing a threat to the wider economy. This is from reputable source, from bisnow.com. I mean, I don't know. This is banks. I don't know what more to tell people. Banks in total have roughly $3.6 trillion of exposure to commercial real estate. Let that sink in for a minute. Our time is coming. That commercial real estate guillotine is falling ever lower. Heck of a time we live through. Let's move on here to another article, okay? So, big news. Big news. It's a connection. This is a legit connection. People always wanted one. This is from CoinGate.com. It says Ripple joins Elon Musk's SpaceX to partner in an XRP project. It says Ripple, the payments company behind the crypto token XRP, has joined hands with Jared Isaacman, Elon Musk's partner in SpaceX. Now, this is just where they're beginning, of course. Let's read this little tidbit. It could expand later on. You build relationships and you start at this initial point, but that's just a growth point. And then you expand from there. Where you go, who knows? But there definitely could be more done if they are satisfied with what's going on here in this particular offering. It says, in a surprising development, Ripple, the payments company behind the crypto token XRP, has joined hands with Jared Isaacman, who is Elon Musk's partner at SpaceX. The billionaire founder and chief executive officer of payments processing company Shift4 flew to the Earth orbit on SpaceX's Crew Dragon capsule in 2021. In the latest development, Ripple had officially announced it was working on a donations project in collaboration with Isaacman. This could grow to be something very, very major. Also very good, because people who need donations around the world, and there have been some tragedies, they definitely could benefit from something like this as well. They benefit similarly from like stellar-based donation systems. It says XRP donations along with SpaceX partner. Ripple had officially announced it was joining Isaacman in the XRP and crypto donations project for the Maui Emergency Response Fund. Shout out to all my people over there. I don't have to say much. I have love for Maui. You already know that. It says, accordingly, XRP has been added as one of the crypto donations options to charities on the Giving block, a crypto donation solution provider. The company said, quote, Ripple will be joining Shift4 CEO Jared Isaacman, and the next $50,000 US in any crypto donations made to the Maui Relief Fund will be matched 200%. This is another reason why a lot of people like Ripple, because they continue to be a company that supports the people around the world. You saw what they did on the West Coast, building things for the children. Algorand is the same. They had some things going on in India where they gave back to the people, and now they're doing this here. I respect it greatly. I do. So that's something major to put on the table there. This little SpaceX connection, we'll see where it goes in the future. Let's move on to another article here. So we have an interesting article here. This one's from the cryptobasic.com, and it's titled XRP Community Weighs In on the Possibility of XRP Hitting $10. $10. All right. It says here, there is a debate within the XRP community about the potential of XRP to surge to the $10 price. The debate began on September 3rd after a prominent analyst, eGrag Crypto, shout out to eGrag. I don't know the individual, but we're on the same page. I love all of this individual's predictions. Says, drew parallels to XRP's past price surge, where the asset rallied 900% in 2017. According to the analyst, if the 2017 rationale is repeated in the current cycle, XRP could rally 2,000% to $15. It says, however, enthusiasts of the cryptocurrency, Vincent, countered speculation, saying that $10 could be the absolute top for XRP. everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Okay, all right. I don't see what the debate is about. If this person believes, let's say you got a bunch of people standing together, this person believes it can only go to $2. All right, let them sell at $2. What does that have to do with me? This person believes it can go to $10. Let's say it does go to $10. They sell there. That's their choice. And someone else continues to hold and it goes to 15. Maybe it doesn't. Everyone has to make their own decisions. That's how I feel. So I just don't see any incentive for debate or are they trying to convince other people? I don't understand. Maybe they're just doing this for fun. I'm going to assume it's just for fun, right? You can't control other people. They're going to do what they want anyway. Right? Correct? Let's continue on here. It says, Vincent speculated that XRP could experience heavy selling pressure once it reaches $5. Okay, I'm gonna put my little thought in here, humbly. I agree with that. I've always said there's going to be a ton of volatility from $3 to $5, but that's retail volatility. I think a lot of those earlier prices, that's retail, is going to push it up there, just like it did before. But if we're talking when the banks step in, it'll go way past $5. In my humble opinion, you don't have to agree with that. It'll go way past $5 and it'll have acceptable stability wherever it does go. If we're talking about institutional money, no different than gold, no different than silver. It'll hover around a certain range, based on its utility and demand, right? That's how I see that going. But yeah, there will be a volatility. I don't see that holding it back. I think it's going to be good. Bitcoin has a lot of volatility. It's had a lot of volatility everywhere, whether it was high or low. It's a good thing because day traders, swing traders make their profit, but it doesn't hold it back from its explosions as it expands, right? And I think the same will be for XRP. As it expands, the price can continue to increase wherever you think it goes. That's up to you. It says the selling pressure at $5 and up will be crazy. I agree with that, but I think by the time we get there, let's say we get around $5, I think only the most hardcore XRP believers will remain. And if those banks are going to step in, and I believe that they will, for that so-called flip of the switch moment, I think that's what those people will be waiting for, right? But I think this is something that we all saw coming. All right, so now let's move on to another article here. So now this is also an article from the cryptobasic.com. It's titled, Ripple sues money transfer company over $15 million unpaid XRP invoice. What is going on here? And what company is this so I can take note of it? It says Ripple Labs Singapore takes legal action against GCC Exchange, alleging the defendant's failure to fulfill payment obligations regarding XRP transfers. The Singapore arm of Ripple Incorporated, Ripple Labs Singapore Pte Limited, has filed a lawsuit against GCC Exchange, a United Kingdom-based fintech company. Really? According to a report from Law 360, Ripple Singapore contends that GCC Exchange, yeah, I'm definitely keeping that in mind, right? That name in mind, keep it on the list, failed to fulfill its financial obligations for more than 40,000 transfers of XRP units amounting to 13.8 million. It says approximately $14.9 million. My apologies, everyone. Notably, the transfers were executed within the framework of a supply agreement established by parties last year. The lawsuit became public recently, despite Ripple Singapore filing the charges in the High Court of Justice of England and Wales in July 2023. All right, look, we don't need to go that deep with this. What I know is I'm going to keep that name in mind in case anybody I'm talking to comes to me and say, hey, Mick, exchanges. I like exchanges like Coinbase, Binance, GCC. I'm going to say, no, stop. What did you just say? A G with followed by a C? No. Did you read the article? Then I can inform my people. You have to stay privy to these types of things, right? Don't need people getting in trouble that you care about. All right, so there you have it, some trouble. Now we're going to move on to a little bit of Stellar-based news. Yes, one of our favorite assets. This is from BPV. They continue to push forward. They continue to do a good job. Bring that money to us, BPV. This company here is doing major things on Stellar for Stellar. It says here, this is an article from BPV they just released. It's titled Stellar Development Foundation Open Sources Their SDP Software. And you know what BPV is going to do. They're going to bring their positives in and say, hey, we're streamlining this. We're going to make this easy for you. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says, BPV, your partner in integrating SDP. You already knew they were going to do this. They make everything better, BPV. It says, as an official Stellar integration partner, BPV is your steadfast ally in integrating SDP effectively. I love how they make things clear. You see, the big businesses, the banks, the big money, they want everything to be easier. They don't want any difficulties whatsoever. BPV makes it clear to them saying, hey, listen, we have easeability of use. You don't even have to code. We're doing pretty much everything for you. Come right to us. We're going to set you up. It says BPV isn't just about offering the SDP software. It's about providing an all-encompassing solution that aligns with your organization's brand. You know how many more companies going to find building on Stellar Delicious is already brilliantly easy. But because of this could bring in many more businesses, and that's what we want. We want that money to flow when the time is right. And I think the time is coming. It says we have extensive experience in the sector, and our commitment to your organization involves full support, it says, from integration to continued day-to-day operations, branded wallets, your organization's image and ethos reflected in every transaction to encourage trust and funds. I like that. It says an intimate working relationship. Intimate? Wait. This is rather immature, I know, but we are talking about business, right, BPV? Because you're getting me concerned. Intimate, right? I'm just joking around, folks. Says that ensures your organization's needs are met. Wait, what? The way what's going on, BPV? Hey, the way that this is sounding is getting a little. This is a PG channel. What? This is a family-friendly channel. Hold on, I'm messing about. It says, oh wow. It says including in-person visits. They're serious about this. Join hands with BPV and leverage Stellar's SDP to make the world of financial aid transparent, efficient, and truly global. I love this company. That's how I feel. We're going to continue to keep up with this. They're doing major things. And I think this is the first of many articles we're probably going to get coming up soon. I hope. We have Meridian coming up. I know everybody's sitting on a lot of info. But let's move on here. We have a lot more articles to get through, okay? So now, listen, big things on the horizon. This is from the dailyhodl.com, and it's titled, Multiple Altcoin ETFs Are Coming. I just said this in one of the videos before. I was saying that I think if we can get this Bitcoin ETF out of the way, which would make Bitcoin in the crypto industry explode, then I think it might be enough of an explosion, to combat some of the negative catalysts that will and have been pulling down the market. Everything has lost liquidity. I told you there was a liquidity drain, did I not? But if we can get past that, man, I don't see why there wouldn't be an XRP ETF somewhere down the road in the future, right? But this is what it says here. Multiple altcoin ETFs are coming, according to $676 billion asset manager Bernstein. Come on. So it's not just me saying it now. Now you have this individual who's in charge of a whole lot of capital iterating the same thing. It says a senior analyst at the Global Asset Management Fund, Bernstein, says that multiple altcoin exchange traded funds are likely to materialize if a spot Bitcoin ETF gets approved. That is so strange to me sometimes. I say things and then someone will come out the next day or 2 days later and say the exact same thing. It's so strange. This is Gautam Chungani, who also works as managing director of global digital assets at Bernstein, says Grayscale's legal victory over the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission last week set, quote, unambiguous principles, unquote, for regulators to use when considering spot crypto ETF applications. Quote, we suspect the crypto ETF opportunity won't just stop at Bitcoin, but will extend into multiple. So this is Bitcoin, possibly Ethereum. XRP has to be on the table. It has to be. That would be huge. It says, but will extend into multiple crypto assets. A federal judge ruled last week that the SEC must reconsider Grayscale's application. That we know. Here's another quote from Chugani. It says, quote, the strong showing in the courts, Ripple and Grayscale in 2 months, improved ETF chances, and the progressive institutional interest is in contrast to the retail-led crypto cycles of the past. This is a cycle slower to take off, but is being laid on the much stronger fundamental grounds of regulatory clarity and more strategic long-term players. Oh, I almost smacked my light. Every once in a while, that light is going to gets brutalized, doesn't it? But it's being laid on much stronger fundamental grounds of regulatory clarity and more strategic long-term players entering the space. The takeover is happening. The takeover is real. So, and this is another thing why I think I try to think in a multi-dimensional way. So yeah, sure, we have to consider the things in the past that have happened in crypto based on regular retail, but at the same time, we have to now start thinking big picture, visionary stuff, where large companies like BlackRock, asset managers like BlackRock, Valkyrie, Wisdom Tree are involved, and their capital is what's flooding the market. That's completely different. That's a completely different type of stability, completely different type of volatility. I call it acceptable volatility, right? So I think that's where the future is heading. They're already taking over everything. So now let's move on here. So this article here is from bitcoinmagazine.com. And it's a word from Valkyrie. Man, we've been hearing we've just read an article from Bernstein. We've been hearing a lot from BlackRock. Now Valkyrie is shouting. It says here, Steve McClurg, the CIO of Valkyrie Investments, shared his insights into the future of cryptocurrency exchange-traded funds in the United States this week. It says, in a new interview with Bloomberg, Steve McClurg, the CIO of Valkyrie Investments, predicts that a Bitcoin spot ETF could become a reality by Q1 2024. Brace yourselves, folks, especially you Bitcoin holders out there. Holy smokes, this could be big. Potentially marking a significant milestone for the crypto industry. I can't wait. I want Bitcoin to pop off a bull run. I want it so bad. It says further, he indicated there is a 50% chance, unquote, a Bitcoin ETF is approved in October, the earliest that such a fund could pass evaluation by the SEC. Elsewhere, the discussion revolved around the ongoing efforts by several financial institutions and asset managers to launch a Bitcoin ETF in the United States. While Canada and other countries have already embraced crypto ETFs, the US has been slower to approach such products, primarily due to regulatory concerns. McClurg believes that the growing acceptance and understanding of cryptocurrencies among regulators and institutional investors will pave the way for a Bitcoin spot ETF in the near future. This is what I'm talking about. And this is what has taken time also. We used to discuss this all the time. The understanding of these institutions. They didn't really understand crypto a long time ago. And they took the time to get educated. Now they understand it. They've been playing around with the technology and they're ready and they're in position to take over. This has always been the plan for them to take over. This is why you have articles being written now about maybe BlackRock, is gaining too much power when it comes to Bitcoin. Look that up for yourself. It says here, the potential approval of a Bitcoin spot ETF could open doors for a broader range of investors to gain exposure to the world's largest cryptocurrency. All right. And all cryptocurrencies, let's make that clear. When Bitcoin goes up, everything else goes up. I'm not mad at that at all. When that last bull run, listen, we were making some crazy capital. It was fun. So let's just keep that in mind. Everything else goes up also. Let's move on to this article here. So now, this article is from CoinDesk.com, and it's titled $500 billion Korean asset manager taps Polygon Labs to develop tokenized securities network. Polygon, obviously, Matic, one of our original utility coins from the beginning of this channel. Let's check out what's going on here. It says Mirai Asset Securities, South Korea's largest financial group with over $500 billion in assets under management, said Thursday that it is working with Ethereum scaling platform Polygon Labs to advance tokenization within finance and boost adoption of Web3 technologies. Polygon Labs will be a technical consultant in the Mirai Asset Security Token Working Group, which is working to create infrastructure to issue, exchange, and distribute tokenized securities, the asset manager said in the press release shared with CoinDesk. It says, here's a quote, Polygon Labs is a leading global blockchain technology development company that is innovating throughout all aspects of Web3. Through technical collaboration with Polygon Labs, Mirai Asset Securities aims to establish global leadership in the field of tokenized securities, unquote. That's from Ah In Sung, head of the digital assets division at Mirai Asset Securities. All right. So massive things are happening. Oh, and here they go into it a little bit. It says several traditional finance giants, including Franklin Templeton, Hamilton Lane, and top-tier investment firm with the over $823 billion in assets under management, have already initiated tokenization projects on Polygon. The Monetary Authority of Singapore's experimental tokenization initiative, Project Guardian, executed foreign exchange and sovereign bond transactions on Polygon last year. So there is a lot going on with Polygon. Listen, I'm definitely gearing up for that next bull run. Listen, bank coins I don't play with, right? Until they flip that switch, the banks step in and prices go insane. Not financial advice, but this is what I'm looking for when it comes to bank coins. But everything else, it's on the table. Money on the wood makes the betting good. I'm in the game with everything else with Cardano, Polygon. I'm looking at Batcoin. I'm looking at you. There's going to be more profit taken. That's right. I'm going to feast on them. That's right. So I'm getting updated now. I'm getting ready because it seems like things are close. 2024 could be huge. Let's move on here to another article. Okay. All right. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you're feeling healthy. I hope your minds are clear and you're being successful in everything that you're doing. I hope the best for every single one of you. All right. So more big implications. This is from Cointelegraph.com and it's titled Digital Euro. EU finance chief says, don't rush digital euro before new commission in June 2024. But so let's put two things together. Number one, we covered about 2 or 3 articles some months back where they were saying that they were most likely going to roll out MiCA legislation towards the end of 2024. That's one. So now we have this one where an EU finance chief is saying, hey, listen, don't do anything until after June 2024, which will be the second half, right? I mean, they'll be in the second half. So what we're seeing is that maybe a lot of things happen in Europe last half of 2024. Maybe this is confirmation of that. It says May Reed McGuinness believes that the CBDC project should be approached, quote, quietly and slowly, unquote, by the next European Commission. I don't know why they're saying that. We're seeing everyone else saying speed it up because they're getting left behind. We read an article the other day where they're literally admitting to getting dominated, that we could take over. We could render private banks useless. We just read that from reputable sources. So I don't know why this individual is saying this, but let's read a little bit more. The European Commissioner for Financial Stability, Financial Services, and the Capital Markets Union, May Reed McGuinness, believes there's no reason to rush the digital euro until after the next European Parliament elections in June 2024. In her opinion, the European Union's central bank digital currency project should be approached, quote, quietly and slowly, unquote, by the next European Commission. McGuinness mentioned the digital euro during her speech at Brussels-based think tank Bruegel on September 6th. She highlighted that the European Central Bank would decide the project's fate in October. There you have it. So confirmed, last half of 2024, MiCA legislation, digital euro, a lot of things may pop off at the end of 2024, confirmed. All right, so now we're going to leave that off here so we can jump to these next articles. Okay, we're going to end off here today with a little bit of gold news. Oh man, one of our favorite assets here. Okay, so it says this is from kitco.com and it's titled mild price gains for gold on short covering. I am absolutely never, ever, ever worried about gold and as bad as the banks are looking right now, sometime in the next year or two, gold could explode if those banks collapse. And it looks like they're swaying in the wind right now. So it begins here. It says gold prices are just a bit firmer and silver prices a bit weaker in a quieter early U.S. trading Thursday. Modest short covering is featured in gold futures following recent selling pressure. Gold and silver markets are in a bearish near-term technical posture, which is keeping the two precious metals markets bulls squeamish. December gold was last up $1.50 at $1,945.70, and December silver was down 18 cents at $23.32. It says U.S. stock indexes are pointed to a weaker openings when the New York day session begins. Trader Aned investor risk. Sorry about that. They made a typo here. Traders amid investor risk appetite in the marketplace is not keen at present. In overnight news, China got more downbeat economic news as the world's second largest economy's exports dropped 8.8% in August year on year and contracting for a fourth consecutive month. China's imports fell 7.3% in August year on year. However, these numbers were slightly better than market expectations. Meantime, the Eurozone second quarter GDP came in at 0.1% from the first quarter and up revised 0.5% year on year. Those numbers were weaker than expected. The key outside markets today see the US dollar index firmer. NYMEX crude oil prices are weaker and trading around $87. Did you hear about the oil news? People better keep up with that oil news because it's going to be impactful. What's occurring? It says $87 a barrel. Benchmark U.S. Treasury 10-year note yield is presently fetching 4.27%. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.